Shenzhen skyline is growing rapidly and is regarded as one of the best in the world. The city currently has over 23 buildings going well over 200 meters in height.
The tallest building in Shenzhen is now the King Klee 100. Funny enough, has 100 floors full of office and hotel spaces.
It's not only the tallest building in Shenzhen, but one of the tallest in all of southern China. Hey, let's let them see for themselves. Welcome back, everyone. Varadi, did you know? You know, this is a bit of version because you gave all this knowledge yesterday. You're like, I'll show everyone one up. I've done my research on the tallest towers around the world, not just Shenzhen. But yeah, a little sneak peek at what we get to see in Shenzhen. You know, when I first got here, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, man, it just feels a little bit like another big city. You know, I used to live in Seoul and whatnot, but then the more I spend time here, like the skyline at night and stuff, it's actually really cool. Yeah. There are some really cool buildings.
I was just about to say, like, it's actually very sad that I've seen more of this city on these little videos than I actually did by myself while being here. It's just like this. I've had the worst jet lag of my life. I keep arriving in my hotel room at 7. I'll be like, I'll lay down for 2 minutes. And then I wake up at 11:53 in sheer panic, thinking I overslept for the next day. And it's like, this has happened 2 days in a row. Like, I've never been this boring in my life, Joe, bro.
Yeah, like, that's not what we expect for you, right?
I know. Like, I wake up to, like, taking pictures of me and sharing it with you guys on WhatsApp, like, oh, look at Ruddy, he's so cute, he fell asleep with his clothes in the bed. It's like, thanks, Big, you're a great friend.
I was told you were going to be like the party guy. You know, I'm rooming with Roddy, it's going to be awesome. I come in 8 p.m. every night, you're out cold.
Pig was so excited too. Pig was so excited for Shenzhen, but we still got a couple days left. Hopefully we get to take a little closer look at the city. Yeah, I mean, yesterday Sean and I were out, and yeah, there's a lot more people out at night. I'm sure we'll get to check that out later, but it's very different from the day because it is very hot and humid during the day, just the weather. But yeah, pretty neat city. I was pleasantly surprised. But right now, we do have two players who are not too pleasantly surprised with where they are right now. I'm sure they get another chance, but we are in the final match, the decider match of Group C. It is going to be uThermal and Jim going at it again. Now, both of them finding a way to get back into this course. uThermal had to climb back into it after taking Cyan down 2-0 on the second stream. And Jim, oh man, he was so close to tying it 1-1 against Hero.
Absolutely. Things are always easier said than done, but this was kind of the way we expected this bracket to play out.
Yeah. It's got to be a good feeling in terms of the mental game to have that win behind you, get that confidence. What's uThermal been saying the last few days? This is my first time in Asia. I flew here alone. He had some troubles with his flights.
He had a lot of troubles, man.
Yeah, and like now he gets this win behind him, and he's like, okay, all right, I'm feeling it a bit more. And like I've been saying, if you look at him in the booth, I mean, he does look a little bit stressed just there, but generally his mindset has been getting better and better this year. He's become such a strong mental player, and that's such an important part of going into this match. I think he's going to be a lot calmer, and I think he actually could have learned more about Jim's play style than Jim learned about him in the previous series.
Yeah, there are still a couple of people who are like, uThermal, I've heard that name, but how good is he really? Well, just to put things in perspective, when he qualified for this event, he defeated Lil Bao, Bunny, Harstem, and Snoot in a row. Just won the upper bracket. Those are 4 of the arguably strongest players in Europe. And, to go back to what you asked, Pick, normally I think it's very nice, to win a series, and it's frustrating to lose the first one, so he has a little bit of momentum. But I really think that uThermal knew all along that it was most likely going to come down to this best of 3. So, I think other scenarios, sometimes, but when you have a Titan like Hero in your group, of course you go in with the best intentions. Nobody goes in with it like, well, I'm going to get shreked by Hero. This is going to be lovely, like everybody has dreams and ambitions, but when you're realistic, you're like, okay, even if that doesn't go right for me, it will probably come down to that final best of 3 against Jim. So the fact that he's here right now, and I think the same goes for Jim, the fact that Jim is here right now is not a big upset for either of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. When you said earlier that it doesn't matter who won that first match, I mean, sure, Jim was close to trying to tie it up with Hero, but at the end, I think both players are, all right, you know what? This is probably what we expected when we came into the venue this morning, that we would meet again no matter who won the first match. We're here, and Jim, in some ways, you can switch that around, right? You can say, you know what, yeah, I made some mistakes, but at the very least, I was actually really close to tying a series with Hero and trying to get the win. That's not something that a lot of players can brag about.
No? I would feel happy about it. On one hand, like PvP, it's really weird. I think very few pros players around the world find a lot of satisfaction in a loss. Like PvP is just an annoying matchup, and everybody hates losing it. I love playing it, but I hate losing it.
Yeah, it is one of those kind of tricky matchups where, if you win, it can feel really good, but at the same time, it's the reverse when you lose. Well, again, it's down to this one best of 3 to decide who moves on to the quarterfinals. Will it be uThermal making a bigger run in his first time here in Asia, or Jim? Can he try to top his record from last year at the IntelliStream Masters Shenzhen? We'll find out with Apollo and Artosis.
Hopefully he can calm down a little bit. I think, he's had enough games now that maybe he's going to be in the groove. I definitely think we're going to see some better play out of uThermal.
Well, Jim's just poked inside his opponent's main base, seeing that it is going to be a Reaper expand. So even though uThermal was looking outside his main base, this is going to be difficult to find, especially on these new maps.
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to say if you didn't say it, but you said it because you're Apollo and you're great. But new maps, proxies are so strong on because you don't have it down all the good proxy locations. So it's actually very hard to scout them all well, whether you're Zerg with Speed Zerglings and Overlords, whether you're Terran with a Reaper, or,
I mean, uThermal has gone inside this main base, and, he can put 2 and 2 together to realize there is a pylon missing. It's just, where is it?
Yeah. And that's a very tough one to find.
I mean, does he even realize that a pylon is missing at this point? He should do, shouldn't he?
I think that check right there might have been to see if there's... Sometimes Protoss like to put a pylon behind the natural to try to make you think there's one missing, so your Reaper just buzzes off for a little bit.
Well, the Reaper's not too active, so I'm not too sure what's going on, but he's going to go inside the main base once again, but is pushed back by Stalker, so I don't think he's really clicked on to the pylon being missing. Whereas he has still gone for what he wanted to do, which is Hellions and Marines, and now with the Starport finishing up, we are going to see a Medivac Maze, and it is going to be a Dark Shrine here coming from Jim.
I like where he plays that on the other side of the grass. Maybe if there's like a small % chance if a Reaper went in from the other side, he just wouldn't even check.
No, he'd maybe turn around once he finds the Twilight Council and is like, oh.
Yeah, it might be.
Maybe.
You're like, oh no, Blink is coming. And then DTs.
The Shrekkening from the Dark Templar. 2 Hellions, though, going to move forward straight into the mineral line. Only a Mothership core here, so probes are very vulnerable. One's going to go down, a second one is going to get targeted, and potentially third, and maybe a fourth, but no, it is just going to be 3, so nice little dart run in there from uThermal.
Yeah, and, it looks completely fine so far for Jim, only losing 3 probes. It's like, it's good to kill 3 probes off, but if that's what he did with his early harassment, you're like, okay, I guess, the DT, possibly drop coming up eventually.
Well, I guess he'll just go DTs
first and then into drop, but he'll get more than 3 SCVs.
Yeah, the Engineering Bay only just now starting, but the Dark Shrine is moments away from finishing. uThermal's fully concentrated on trying to land these Widow Mines, I would imagine, inside that Medivac. And the pylon is just outside the main base here.
Well, here we go. Coming in right now with these Widow Mines, and the Mothership Core just sitting there. A late pull on these probes, but just in time.
Yep, single one comes out and is going to try and get another couple of probes here. 2 are... No, just a single one. So 2 probe kills for 2 Widow Mines. He's gone inside the main base. He's obviously not seen a Twilight Council or Dark Temple because it's on the other side of the map. And here comes the first one. Engineering Bay is finished, but no turrets have begun yet. Only just now one starting.
And it looks like he's starting one in both lines. Going to go ahead to the main base with this Dark Templar, but he catches it.
With concussive shells here with the Marauders, he gets us surrounded with the SCVs. Excellent find there by uThermal. And with turrets now finishing up in each mineral line,
that was insanely good. This worked out completely perfectly for uThermal. He has to be feeling fantastic right now.
Yeah, 2 Dark Templars down for 2 scans.
Yeah, they didn't kill anything at all. So that's some expensive tech. Don't forget that's out on the map, but he hasn't scouted it yet. So we don't know. That he might be able to get Blink and Charge out of there before that thing gets found.
Looks like Jim's not done, though. Warp Prism is on its way. He's going to try and continue the investment that he's thrown into the Dark Shrine and maybe get some Dark Templar inside that main base. But he has set a lot of his tech down. I mean, the robotic space should have been finished, Blink should have been finished, maybe a Forge and an upgrade could have been kicked in if he hadn't have gone for the Twilight Council Dark Shrine. So these are things that Jim is missing compared to a usual game.
Well, DT rushes are always a risk, and uThermal playing very safely this game, so good on him. But we do have a lot of gateways being added. Colossus on the way, Blink on the way as well. As long as he can keep uThermal busy for a little bit, he will have enough to hold off whatever comes.
And a good find there by that SCV. Moves in, sees the unit count very low, sees the robotics bay, realizes the transition, even going to try and have a quick look up to this third base, realizing his opponent hasn't cut even more corners to be too greedy, sees that his opponent's still on 2 bases. And a nice little bit of information gathering there from uThermal.
All right, well, it looks like it's going to be the job of this Warp Prism to keep uThermal on the other side of the map because Jim going to be taking his 3rd base right now. This is something that I feel like uThermal, if he really dedicated an attack, could absolutely force a cancel on. He doesn't know, of course, yet that this is being taken, so he's going to get some reconnaissance done and possibly get that damage in there.
Unfortunately, every single medevac has been spotted. There's 2 down south and 1 in the center of the map that's just gone over the pylon. And Jim did actually, thinking back to his previous games, miss some very, very obvious scouting.
Yeah.
But this is obviously going to be picked up here as the units do unload. And then another medevac heading towards that third base. Shouldn't be able to get a cancel unless that's 4 Marauders and Jim's out of position.
No, it's a couple Widow Mines. Turns out Widow Mines do not hit Nexuses, and even if they did, it would take an awfully long time to kill one. So they're going to go ahead and zoom right into this natural base.
Jim, is he going to react in time to Widow Mines plant? There's a lot of probes there.
Oh, man.
And he gets 12 probes coming out. Excellent hits from uThermal.
Just gigantic right there. Now he's going to go ahead and counter drop, but Stim Marine's already there, and these VTs are going to do next to nothing once again. Jim is so far behind. In fact, this third base could get attacked coming up.
No SCVs going down there. 3 Dark Templar and also the Warp Prism. And now uThermal is on this third base, going to put some Widow Mines to catch any units trying to defend this. And he's going for the Nexus. The units aren't too far away.
Should be able to save this Nexus this time for sure with a couple Colossus mixed in here and Blink. So uThermal does back up, but overall this has been very successful by uThermal.
Yeah, a wonderful start here in the rematch for the Dutch player against Jim here, representing China.
Now, of course, we should mention there is still a third base up here, so it looks like uThermal going to go ahead and try to charge in. No spells out of that sentry there, so that was a little bit off. Oh my god, no force fields cast.
And now the Colossus are very exposed. He's going to charge from here. If he brings these down, he probably is going to take map number 1. 1 Colossus down, 2 Colossus down. Stalkers aren't going to do anything, which is going to leave this third Nexus completely exposed. And uThermal, a wonderful start from the European here. He's going to take game 1. GG's called.
Well done.
An excellent performance, Artosis.
That's much more what he was trying to do in game number 3 there with the, going up to like 5 racks before that third CC and whatnot and seeing what he can get done. Definitely did some strong damage. Jim kind of missing that drop coming to his natural. That was pretty tough, and I'm not sure what happened during that last battle, but there was no real good battle micro there from Jim, unfortunately.
Compared to the first series, I think uThermal saying that's exactly what I wanted to do earlier on today, and he pulled it off there. Jim going to be a little bit flustered with that, but uThermal now a single map away from moving to the quarterfinals here at the Intel Extreme Masters. We'll be right back to see if he can actually do it.
Welcome back to Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen. As you can see, it is bustling down here. We even have that weird blue turtle guy.
Weird blue turtle guy giving something to the audience.
Did you get a picture with him yet?
I did not know. I'm going to hopefully get one a little bit later on.
Okay.
There's a lot to do here at the Cartoon and Animation Festival in Shenzhen, where we're currently having the Intel Extreme Masters. It's humid and a lot hotter today than the previous.
That's what Choba's telling me, but I'm a lizard with no body heat, so I just don't feel the difference.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of weird, Artosis. Makes a lot of sense for your diet, too.
This is what happens when you eat iguana food, you become an iguana. Well.
I eat a lot of meat, so I guess I'm just a lion to you, Artosis.
Do you eat lion meat?
Yes.
That's messed up. They're endangered. Holy crap. Someone messaged WWF. We just saw game 1 between these two.
Did WWF look after lions? I thought they were just like a panda organization.
Well, that's their logo.
I'm joking, Artosis. Game is loading. Map number 2 between uThermal.
I'm so glad you're joking.
And Jim. I'm having a lot of fun sitting with you, Artosis.
I love casting with you, Apollo.
And I'm sure that if these guys could listen to what we were saying, they'd be having a lot of fun too.
They'd be like, what the hell is this? And they get up and leave.
Why are they waving fans at each other?
Why are they speaking the president's American?
Hey, come on, man. It's the Queen's English. How many times have I got to tell you?
More times than that. Well, uThermal versus Jim, guys. Game number 2. In the top left of Cactus Valley. It is our Terran player winning game 1, uThermal.
Mark Schlappy.
Well, he wasn't so sloppy in that last game, was he? He was pretty tight, if you ask me. And his opponent in the top right, our Chinese pro, it's Jim.
And Jim's real name, for anyone out there, is Jinhui, if I say that right, or Jin... Hui. So that's his Chinese first name. Funny enough, his ID, he might as well have gone for it. Jim. Jin Hui, Jim in StarCraft 2. Both players born in 1995. Artosis makes us feel very old.
1995.
1995. Both players
That's a pretty good
19
year.
years old.
So basically when these guys were 4, I was already practicing StarCraft.
Yes.
And they were 4 years. Back then I could beat them. Not now. Back then though, yeah. Slaughter those literal noobs. They'd probably be crybabies about it too, literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Did you know, Artosis? Here's a funny fact. Jim is $8,000 shy in his StarCraft 2 earnings of $100,000.
Whoa, that's like almost $93,000 in earnings.
It is. And it's almost $7,000 short of 100.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of money though, actually, when you think about it.
For a 19-year-old too.
Yeah, like the prices of things in China aren't nearly as high as a lot of other countries, so.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, we had the most delicious dinner last night for 5 people. For how much money was that?
It was
like
$4 to
$30.
$5 each.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. uThermal sent it out an early scout here with his Reaper expansion once again and finds his opponent in the first location. This is a 4-player map, so you can spawn in any of the bottom or top corners. So lucky uThermal gets in there nice and early.
And nice to see the scout. And he actually, it's a pretty valuable scout, right? Because he sees 2 gases before a Nexus. And that definitely tells you that they're going to be teching up very quickly afterwards. Kind of points towards Oracle, but there's a few other things it could be as well.
Well, the Zealots has been started. And looks like it is going to be cancelled there. No, it's going to be stayed because the SCV is around to actually delay this Nexus for a little bit here. So a good start again by uThermal. As the Zealot goes down, the Reaper pops up. May catch a probe here that's moving down to actually build that Nexus.
Oh, you don't want to lose a probe to a Reaper. It's like worse than losing a drone to a Reaper.
And now a Stalker has started as well before the Nexus here.
Yeah, this is kind of funky. He's really been unbelievably slowed down by that scout.
And an engineering bay here by uThermal.
Yeah.
Very early on. It's going to be able to get that +1 attack super early.
Yeah, and I think also he wants to get a missile turret. He's probably looking at this and saying, this is such a slow Nexus, you must be going Stargate right now.
Yeah, he's going to have a quick look inside with this Reaper to see if he can confirm anything like that. Doesn't see too much. The Stalker is going to push it out, but he keeps the Reaper alive. And unfortunately for Jim, his probe scouting again, coming back to that 4-player map thing we just mentioned, the wrong way.
That's rough. He's not going to know where he is for quite some time here, but he'll know in time to send the Oracle in the right direction, so that's good at least.
So this is a dream start here for the player from the Netherlands.
Indeed, it is. Well, looks like we have a pause.
Reaper inside the main base comes in and even spots the Stargate. Everything is just falling into place for uThermal.
Yeah. Jim in a little bit of trouble, but the thing is, Jim is a very strong player. I think a lot of people have been kind of underestimating him. Even if he gets eliminated here, the guy is still very highly ranked on the Korean server, top 50, he was saying, in GM. And it looks like he's going for Phoenix Colossus, which he's quite good with.
Do you think this is because it was spotted and he could have gone for the Oracle and then he switched into Phoenix?
I think with everything going wrong, you're like, okay, is this Oracle going to do literally anything?
Yeah.
And
did he cancel to Phoenix? It didn't finish, did it?
Yeah.
Or did it? Okay, sorry. Whoa, way ahead of myself.
Chrono boosted Phoenix's build awfully quick.
Oh my god, second pause of the tournament. Back into the game, Artosis.
All right. Well, anyways, the Phoenix play, I like it. If he lives into a few Colossi, Jim becomes very scary with Phoenix Colossus. I think he's quite a good player of it. You know, it's something that, if I recall correctly, when he came and played in Korea in SSL against Mario, didn't he do it like 3 games or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a scan from uThermal to have a quick look inside the main base. And he sees behind enemy lines 3 Phoenix and a Stargate still active. No robotics bay down yet, just additional gateways coming into play. And he backs off. What do you think is the correct reaction from uThermal now? Does he start putting pressure on? Does he want to be very active, very defensive?
Well, here's the thing. Against Phoenix, I think it can be a little bit tricky. You know he can't really attack you early.
Yep.
So I think that you really want to get your 3rd CC up ASAP.
Yep.
And I think the main thing is just to keep a death ball. You have to play death ball versus death ball. If you start trying to do drops, you should lose. Like, theoretically, you should lose. Maybe you end up outplaying your opponent or he makes a mistake or something, but it becomes very, very tough.
All right, then. Well, uThermal pokes forward. He actually grabs a Zealot for free. Does not lose a single unit so far. No photon overcharge was forced there. I think that's his probably ultimate goal here. But he's going to poke forward again. He does not have stim, remember, so he can't just charge forward. He'd risk losing everything now the unit count starting to rise up for Jim, and uThermal does back off.
Yeah, and, you know, uThermal is just kind of staying with the same type of style that we've been seeing from him.
Yeah.
He's just continuing to tech up. We don't see the command yet. I just want to see if he goes up to 5 racks here or he goes command center here, because okay, he is going up to 5 racks.
Yeah.
And I got to ask your opinion on this, because in my opinion, against this type of Phoenix play, like, there's no way he can attack you, and you shouldn't be attacking him, right? He's, like, making multiple mortals. He's going to go directly into Colossus, obviously. He's sitting on 2 base for extra time. I feel like uThermal should just make a 3rd CC before these Raxes.
Well, do you think he could play a very Maru-esque style and drop, you know, and Doom drop in 2 places, and having such a low Colossus count, it could be very difficult to deal with? Or
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't want to try that against lots of Phoenixes, but if he feels confident, the thing is, I don't like anyone that's dropping against a 2-base Protoss.
Yeah.
2-base Protoss should be able to stop all your drops.
Yep.
So.
Well, Jim has an observer here, sees this small little squadron from uThermal pushing forward. He moves to intercept, but once again, uThermal backs off, and he has a Marine down right to have a quick look. Is there a 3rd? No, there is not. So he retreats back. 3rd command center has been placed down. He sees the probe there, actually about to build the 3rd Nexus, and stims and kills it. So he does know his opponent's about to move forward here. Where is his medivacs? He scans, he sees the army. Is he going to try and plant himself in the main base? Where are the Phoenixes, remember?
Yeah, they are actually up, kind of patrolling in that area a little bit. Well, not patrolling, but, you know,
chilling.
Sitting there.
Flying, wasting energy and
sitting in
fuel.
that position.
An observer is tracking this army on top of it. Combat shield's now about to finish up as uThermal looks for an opening. He's got 1-1 upgrades completed due to that very, very early engineering bay.
Yeah, and that's actually a big strength against Colossus Phoenix. You have to skip a few upgrades. Your upgrades are much slower than they normally are. So I really do like double eBay play against that as well. But it looks like uThermal wants to do a little bit of pressure here, pushing in right now. Not going to be able to do too much damage, it looks like, though.
Oh, there's a lot of Phoenixes with a lot of energy here, and he picks up the majority of this, and uThermal gets completely pushed back here in Autosis. And as you said, attacking into this can be very difficult. One Widowmine hit does hit those Phoenixes, but he lost a lot.
I have to be just slightly critical here. I feel like uThermal is not being very flexible in his play. He's like, well, I went 5 racks before the CC, so I attack now. And it's against this type of play, I don't think that's what you want to do at all.
And Jim may be feeling a bit of weakness here, warping in a lot of units. He's killed off a lot of this army. He's got 2 Colossus alive. There are no Vikings in play. And Jim, this is how Jim likes to play. When he smells weakness, he'll absolutely jump at the opportunity, and he's moving forwards.
Even picking up that Widowmine, not able to get any hits.
He's got nothing left after that fight.
Yeah, he's in some real trouble right now, Apollo.
And just like that, uThermal being 1 game away from moving to the quarterfinals may have just thrown this opportunity away in map number 2. Defensive Widowmines have been planted, but a wonderful army. There's still a time warp available on this mothership core.
You just can't attack into that. And even though he's adding some Marauders and Vikings right now, there's already Phoenixes out and there's already 2 Immortals out. So none of those units are going to help that much, really.
SCVs are probably going to have to be pulled here. uThermal's in a very desperate situation, and Jim is coming for the victory to equalize this series up. Time warp goes down, traps almost all of the bio there, and the 2 Colossus doing so much damage, even with a 3rd coming in as well. And uThermal's getting absolutely punished here.
Yeah, just GG. Kind of rigid play there from uThermal, not really taking into account what Jim's strategy was in this game. So, Jim able to pick that one up, and I think that's the style that Jim should look at that and say, oh, wow, he didn't really react to my change in styles this game.
Yeah.
And I think that he should try that again in game 3. I think that's going to be Jim's best chance.
Bit of a smirk there from uThermal, but one thing he has to take away from this, as well as what you've said, another thing I suppose then, is that you just can't be making mistakes. As good as he played in game number 1, you cannot make mistakes against Jim, because you will absolutely just be countered and you'll be ended.
Yeah.
And he saw that and felt it then.
He definitely has the killer instinct. You don't get top 50 GM on the Korean server without that, and that is kind of what we always have seen in Jim's play. So uThermal going to have to tighten it up a little bit. But definitely one of the best Terrans in all of Europe. Definitely a player that can give Jim a run for his money and possibly advance over him.
Looks like BenQ sticks are being handed out there by that woman in the bottom left.
Ooh, Thunder Sticks.
Love myself some Thunder Sticks. They're always fun.
No thunder last night.
No, there wasn't. There was thunder the night before, and it
Thank
woke
God.
everybody up.
Yeah, I needed my thunder buddy Apollo there.
Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. I forgot which floor you were on. I did think about coming,
Yeah,
give you a quick cuddle in the night, and then go back to sleep.
that would have helped me out.
Put your thumb back in your mouth, mate.
Tuck me back in.
Tuck you back
thrown
in.
the covers off when the thunder came. I was like, oh!
Give you a quick kiss on the forehead, and wish you good night. But it was Chobra, the one that came to see me, actually, of all things.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was.
Is he trying to steal my thunder buddy?
He is. Chobra's trying to steal a lot of things at this event.
He's got them sticky fingers, man.
Those sticky fingers. uThermal versus Jim, game 3. Here we go on Iron Fortress, down to the bottom left-hand side. It is the player from the Netherlands, representing 80 Gaming here in China. It is uThermal. One chance, one opportunity,
One shot.
one shot. Will he take it or will he let it slip?
Mom's spaghetti.
Chobra spaghetti.
Ooh, only because he stole it. And his opponent in the top right from China winning that last game. It is Jim.
Jim right now is one of 2 remaining Chinese players in the tournament. We've got XY, who will be playing in a little bit, or Shi, I think you...
Shy.
Shy.
Shy is actually how you say it.
I prefer XY, but if
I
that's...
see. Yeah, no, I prefer Idra over Idra.
Yes.
And so I call him that. And, but I think the first time I casted Shy was actually in China, and someone came up to me immediately and was like, "How do you
Really?
pronounce that Shy?" And I was like, okay.
Okay. All right, so I'll try and remember that and make sure Chobra says it properly on the desk, because I know he calls him XY. I'll make sure to speak to him about that a little bit
We
later
should
on.
just spell Chobra with an X in the front since we're in China, and it makes kind of the same noise.
Yes.
Kind of the same sound, and
Like
then that'll
Chobra.
remind him.
Chobra.
Chobra.
He's like, it's Chobra, guys. No, Chobra.
Shroba.
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 Shroba. We should do it with everyone's name. Shrotty.
Shrotterdam.
Shrotterdam. I'm so glad he couldn't hear that. And once again, uThermal going to move right into the main base with this early scout and finds his opponent immediately once again and
Wow.
sees the double gas again.
He's got the luck of the Irish over here with his scouting on 4-player maps, doesn't he?
He does.
Could have sworn he was Dutch.
He is from the Netherlands. Roddy has said that multiple times this event.
Indeed. He's very, very proud of his fellow Dutch players.
Yep, Harston
Although-
as well.
I heard that Roddy is becoming an American now.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard if he had the choice to switch his passport from the Netherlands to the US, he would actually choose the US. So I don't think he can start to befriend players like uThermal anymore. I guess he's got to go over to the American players.
Yeah, he's going to have to change his name from Rotterdam to San Bernardino, where he drinks cappuccinos with Al Pacino. Ripping pepperinos.
Artosis went there. SCV going to delay this Nexus again. Reapers come in to help. If he can get into this main base Artosis, get a probe kill or not.
Well, with the Mothership core popping out, shouldn't be able to get a probe kill. You never really want to lose a probe to a Reaper. It's actually, would you say it's, with the one gas expand, it's worse to lose a probe to a Reaper than a drone to a Reaper, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's more acceptable to lose that drone.
Even though you shouldn't be losing I think it'll...
No, you shouldn't lose either.
I would imagine. I think it was about 6, maybe more than that ago. It was acceptable to lose a drone. You're like, oh, it's, yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like, no.
Nowadays you lose more than 2 Zerglings. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Stargate has now been planted by Jim, just slightly right there of the Nexus, which the Reaper should be wanting to.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how
for.
good you are at guessing. Is this gonna be Oracle or Phoenix?
Let me find a coin. I don't have a coin. I do have my fan though. If it lands on the guy with the blue hair, it is going to be an Oracle. If it lands on the girl with the pink hair, it's a Phoenix.
All right, do it.
It's a Phoenix.
Pink hair. Phoenix.
Pink hair, Phoenix.
All right, so he'll be going into Phoenix Colossus here once again, which is a good choice.
Mothership core coming down here, and he's going to harass a little bit. Well, what is he going to find? There is an SCV there, but nope. He just finds where his opponent is more so than anything else, I suppose, since he hasn't actually scouted yet. But here comes the Reaper. Hop, skip, and jump towards the back of this base.
Yeah, wants to see, and he'll probably kill off this Reaper before he starts that Phoenix. Oh, he starts it right away.
Yep. The
Wonderful
wise
fan toss.
fan was correct. And here comes the 2 Hellions here.
I think that's your #1 fan, Apollo.
It's my only fan, Autosis. 2 Hellions going to be heading towards that mineral line once again.
Yeah, a couple more on the way as well.
Yeah, he got 3 probe kills last time, if you remember, or in that first game. He's got 2 good hits here. 1 probe only, though, but he does keep them both alive.
All right. Pretty good defense so far. Now, he's continuing to make Phoenixes. Now, with that medevac popping out, if the Phoenix finds it before, like, somewhere towards the middle of the map, that would be amazing for Jim.
Yeah.
That would be Jim Credible, in
Jim
fact.
Credible. There's only one thing better than Jim Credible.
What is that?
Artie McCredible.
It's so stupid. Oh, my God. It's the dumbest thing you ever said. On the long list of dumb apologies.
It's so dumb, it's funny.
Oh, man.
All right, big drop coming in here from uThermal.
That is a lot of
7 Marines in that medivac. And then a lot of Hellions here. How much damage is he going to really get done?
Well, he has these 2 on the ramp, and he's actually going to let them in, but he lifts them up. Very nicely done. Only 2 left over, but they can deal a lot of damage before he gets over there.
He's trying to target the Phoenixes, but these Marines just weren't doing anything to them here. There's 2 Hinds inside the main base, got 3 probe kills, but we have to say this is a pretty good defense so far from Jim, and all he's got to do is clean up the rest of these units. There's 5 or so Marines left, and here comes another lift.
Oh, man. This was just an amazing defense right here from Jim, and uThermal in a lot of trouble now. That was not enough damage.
Wow, that was a big investment there. He comes in for a couple more probe kills, so he actually turns that 3 probe kills into 6 by getting an extra couple more.
And that one earlier from the 2 Hellions, but
not
was that
ideal.
enough for that much?
I don't think so. If you think about his infrastructure compared to where Jim's is, the 2 extra barracks just been added on, the stim only just now starting because he spent so much time building up the Hellion count.
Yeah.
And now the Phoenix is on the rebound. Oh, 2 Winnemites.
Oh, that was amazing. Okay, everything's fine now.
Excellent positioning from that. Really great anticipation from the Dutchman.
I wish we had a shot of Jim's face there.
Yeah.
Because it would have contorted into a grimace, no doubt.
No doubt.
That's
I was trying to think of something else to say, but I almost spurted out a bit of water, which I don't actually have in my mouth, so I don't know what that was, to be honest.
That would be called saliva or spit.
Widowmine's getting into positions to scout, kill, deny. 3 important words there.
Indeed.
But you should know, if you're a StarCraft player or viewer, uThermal back up to the 5 barracks once again, and he's going to go for the similar style. Maybe he's going to be careful.
Well, what is your plan when you go up to 5 racks here?
Build a lot of units, Autosis.
I know, but like, are you actually going to kill him? The thing is, if Jim takes his 3rd base too quickly, then absolutely the 5 racks play can pay off in dividends. But if he scouts that, which should be not very hard considering his observers as well as Phoenixes, he should be able to look at that and say, okay, I just take a much slower 3rd.
Yeah.
And I never die.
I mean, the same thing, uThermal can say the exact same thing you just said, though, too, right? He can say, I can take a much slower.
Well, he can say whatever he wants. He's a free human, but yeah.
Well, that's true. Well, he's not really that free because he's from Europe. Not compared to where you're from,
no,
obviously.
Where we speak, the president's American.
The Queen's English, bro. Like, I gotta keep telling you this, but
no, you're
I guess it'll eventually sink in. If I keep telling you, you'll eventually get it in your head. It's the Queen's English. Anyway, I think uThermal is going to play a little bit safer with his 5 barracks compared to more aggressive. Especially the way that Jim was so cutthroat in that previous game.
Yeah. You don't want to lose a few units trying to get over-ambitious on your attack and end up dying from it. So, looks like he's already sending some SCVs out.
Yeah, good to see both players just playing safe. I mean, this is the decider map to move to the quarterfinals. This is the last map of Group C. One of these players will join CJ Hero, along with TY and Lucera, who advanced from Group A, and Classic and Snoot from Group B. And after we finish here, we'll be going to Group D, where, funny enough, we'll be having a player from Hong Kong play.
That's pretty awesome.
We'll see him at least once.
Oh, yeah, that's
twice,
right.
Because we do the elimination game in Group D. If he does go to the elimination game, that is, I'm not saying that he will go there by all means, but there are some very good other players in that group. But uThermal now, on the outskirts of Jim's headquarters.
Well, let's see what he wants to get done here. I don't think that he can actually get anything done at the moment. It seems like this army is just a little bit too strong here. 3rd Colossus come down. Ooh, that would be a very nice pickoff if he could get it, but not quite.
Yeah, Phoenix is on the hunt there, watching down to those 2 Marauders.
Nice attempt, though, and pulls back in time, so no harm, no foul.
Right, trying to position these Widow Mines to give him an angle on this 3rd Nexus. One of them gets picked up. Observer has come back now.
Ooh, there are 3 Widow Mines here. He's going to be very careful about that.
All his zealots to this if he charges in.
Yeah, he's going to be really careful. Ooh, those were fantastic hits.
Yeah, really good. He's going to
he
gets another one.
Man, lots of damage put on these units.
Taking a lot there. Phoenix is down very low. Zealot's low now as well. uThermal's going to be happy with the 3 Widowmine hits. He's going to back off, also realizing he could be in a bit of trouble if he was to take a fight. But a big move and a big decision's been made by uThermal.
Yeah. Double starport coming up right now, which means that we should be seeing about 50 million Vikings being made.
Yeah. Do you think it's 50 million is a correct prediction here?
What's the supply cap in StarCraft 2?
It's a little bit less than 15 million, I suppose.
Yeah, but how much supply is a Viking?
It's 2, 3, 2,
4 supply,
2,
5, 6 supply.
No, 2.
2 supply. And the supply cap was what?
15 million.
50 million, so only 25 million Vikings then.
Okay, he's going to need that to be able to stop Viking Colossus. Phoenix Colossus. Do you think it's worth trying to get a risk of a Medivac to squeeze to the main base? Because if it works, it's a great move.
Well, he knows where all the Phoenix are, for sure, right?
Right.
He sees them. It's not like you're leaving half your Phoenix home, so I think, sending one would be great.
I wonder if he can get enough Vikings out, because Jim is pushing down now. He's got 4 Colossus supported by Phoenixes. Right now, only 3 Vikings. They're being made a lot of the time. There's 4 Widowmines to help wait a little bit, but
he's about to have Blink and +2 as well. He has a decent number of Stalkers in here to support also.
Viking count needs to climb fast here. I mean, he can't speed it up, unfortunately, but he needs to buy himself time.
Jim needs to go. Like, he doesn't have very long before the Viking count will be high enough.
Jim's not going anywhere, Autosis. He wants to win this fight right now. He's not building any probes. He's continuing to bring in units. A 5th Colossus is coming down. Army supply very similar, but who is going to take the better fight here? Phoenixes are climbing slowly.
The Phoenix is doing all right so far.
Yeah.
Has picked off some of these Vikings. Blink forward, picks off another one. Very nicely done.
SCV's coming to help.
That is a lot of Colossus right there. They do have +1 attack as well. A flank comes up with those SCVs.
That's a great position for uThermal, though. I mean, he's spread so thin. Can he actually fight this? Everything's melting here, Autosis.
Looking fantastic right now for uThermal. He's going to be able to cut down every Colossus, it looks like. And yes, he does.
He does it. He cuts this down, and that is a massive win for the player from Holland. And now with one final sweep, he could be moving to the quarterfinals, eliminating Jim here in the round of 16. He deals with that push, but he lost 34 SCVs to make that hold possible. He is down in economy. He has to do this soon. Otherwise, he may not have a chance to move through Autosis, because Jim is going to be building back up.
Well, what does Jim do here? Because Jim, I can't see it, man. He doesn't have charge, and there are 13 Vikings out. So he's going to have 0 splash and 0 charge. Like, I think you just make gateway units only and as many Stalkers as you can, but I can't imagine that'll be enough against what uThermal has.
All right, here comes uThermal with a Netherlands flag in his back pocket as he comes to move to the quarterfinals. Can he actually finish this one off? Here we go. Somehow, some way, Jim has to make a hold here.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to. This is looking very grim for Jim. And uThermal pushing forward right now. Landed Vikings in the back supporting. Zealots getting warped in, but they don't have charge. Barely having a single hit there.
Yeah, he's blinking backwards. Probes coming off the line here, but uThermal knows it. GG is called, and uThermal makes it to the quarterfinals and advances from group stages. Along with Snoot, we have 2 European players that are in the quarterfinals for the 10th edition of the Intel Extreme Masters here from Shenzhen in China.
Pretty sick to see. Unfortunately, the local crowd favorite here, Jim, will be eliminated. But, he put up a good fight. Unfortunately for him, just didn't work out that time.
Not this time. Unfortunately, Jim will be back. Well, fortunately for Jim, he will be back with the World Championship Series Season 3, just recently requalified back into that. But his road here at the Intel Extreme Masters comes to an end. A big difference compared to last year when he played, where he did finish semi-finals, but it is uThermal who moves through in 2nd place with CJ's Hero.
CJ's Hero, indeed.
Yeah. Well, he's my hero,
it's
really.
It's not the Blue Jays, it's the CJs. And
he's a
Hero is their star player. But yeah, I mean, this is another strong Protoss is down.
Do you think we need Chober anymore? Can Rotterdam translate if we need it? We don't need Chober anymore.
Oh, we should use him as the translator.
Yeah, I think Chober.
The thing is, I think uThermal might actually translate better than Rotterdam in this situation.
I think he does. I think Chover's had one too many Reddit threads.
Definitely. All right, well, let's go ahead and throw it over to Pig. Pig, let us know how uThermal's doing.
uThermal coming out of the group. Whoa, very close 2-1 victory. Congrats, uThermal. How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling really good. I thought after the first series, it would be a second smooth series, but it was really hard still. Like, I didn't even understand Cactus Rally. I'm like, okay, that's like twice my army. I'm like, sure, I guess. And the last game I got really lucky with the Widom Mine, so I'm really relieved.
You're relieved right now. You're feeling good. Going into tomorrow, you feel like you can go a bit further?
Yeah, well, like TVP is supposed to be my best matchup, but it's kind of weak when I don't know my opponent, and like, of course, I don't really know the Chinese people, so I think getting a TVT or TVZ would actually give me a better performance than I showed
Awesome.
now.
All right, Roddy, have you got a question?
Whenever you have a rematch like this, you know, you look at this group, and we already mentioned this at desk. Obviously, you go in with great intention, like you want to beat Hero, but you are very well aware of the fact that there's a good chance you play Jim twice. And we all kind of had the idea that the first series is going to play it out very different than the second series. And I think in the end, it truly proved like that. I kind of felt that Jim was a little reckless and careless in the first series. You know, just be really aggro. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And the second series, I kind of felt like he showed his trademark Colossus Phoenix style, which I'm sure you were aware of, right? Like that he loves to play like that.
Yeah, well, actually after the first series, I was really happy because I thought it was actually 100% perfect for me because I really hoped it would be a 2-1, so I could see 3 games of him.
Yeah.
And also it kind of felt like he showed his trump card with like the 3-gate aggression and stuff like that. So I felt, okay, the second series, I know what he's going to do. It's going to be really easy. But then he started playing like not really macro with like 3-base timings, and it was really tough for me to deal with. I kept doing like a 2-base aggressive opener, and I was so flustered. Like as you saw on Iron Fortress, the first series, and Cactus Rally, I just lost so fast like that. Like I'm still not sure why I lost, but it's kind of tough for me.
We were actually, we were talking, and Dan was talking while commentating the game actually, about the Cactus Valley game and the final game. You said you played 2-base, right? You kind of took very late third command centers against the Phoenix Colossi style. In hindsight, do you think it was the right choice to go up to that 5 racks, that heavy army? Or do you think you should have maybe gone the faster third base, faster second engineering bay and played a little bit later?
It was definitely the wrong choice for me. But of course I was a bit scared because everyone knows Jim is really aggressive, and I was like, especially in the Cactus game, he made 2 Immortals. I'm like, I actually didn't understand what he was doing. I bet this is some Chinese crazy meta. So I kept on 2-base for too long. Normally, you should go for like 30C right after the factory. On Cactus Valley, I actually did 3 racks, which is also a mistake. Like I scouted the Stargate, and I hoped he was going for Oracles. He went Phoenix, and that was kind of bad for me. Like 3 racks is usually okay, but not if they go for Phoenix, because they can just lift their Marauders if you pressure in. It's kind of useless. But yeah, I should have made it 30C, but it's so scary to do that, right? Like, especially when it's...
you must have been getting a little bit nervous in that final game because you opened up with a lot of aggression and it didn't really do that much. You got a couple pros, but I don't think that was what you were hoping for, right?
Well, actually, like, as soon as my Hellion pressure filled, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to play my max to win this game because it was so difficult. And then I got really lucky with the Widom Mine hit as well. And then... like, I kind of got an idea that if you play against his style, you would lose if you attack.
Yes.
So I was afraid of engaging, so it was kind of what I wanted. Like, I was still a bit behind, but I was just trying to snipe his Phoenix so I get Vikings, and to be honest, I just got really lucky the last game. Like, there's not much to say about it.
Well, I mean, you have made it to the quarterfinals, your very first Intel Extreme Masters. I mean, you had a long journey, you even spoke about it a little bit off camera, that it was a little longer than it was supposed to be. Must feel pretty damn great, right?
Yeah, actually, like, I was kind of worried as well, because, like, not this night, but last night I slept for like 2 hours, and I wasn't able to sleep at all. And then tonight I slept from like 8 to 7. But I was really well rested.
All right. Well, you know, if you don't mind me interrupting as just the translator, I know I don't have the greatest place here on the analysis desk, but I do have a question. You know, now that we're speaking about it, this is interesting because we keep highlighting it. It is a big deal. It's your first time in Asia, where a lot of these players, like we live in Korea, we've traveled to China, we've been to Europe, we've been to California. Now, something interesting is Korean players are known to always, bring their own food, and they're very picky about what they eat. Do you feel any of that? Like, do you now sympathize with them? Like, oh man, first time in China, I don't know if I can really feel comfortable with all this food.
No, actually not. I actually really like the food.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of strange for Koreans because like me and the other people, I don't know if you guys like it too, but I kind of like the Chinese food. And like the Koreans told me, like, Korean food's better.
Well, I mean, Korean food is better. I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, you know, Koreans, like, they always bring their kimchi, like, and ramen and whatnot, just as an emergency. But as your first travel to China, you're feeling pretty comfortable now. I mean, it's been a couple days. You just won your, you're going through from your group in seventh place. Do you feel a little bit more settled in?
Yeah, like when I took the plane here. Well, in the plane I was kind of nervous because it was like my first time in Asia and I was alone and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? But actually after like 4 hours, I'm like, oh, I really like China. It's really cool here.
All right.
I like the environment. I like the stuff around the malls and stuff, and I feel really comfortable here.
I have to interrupt here a little bit because I've been talking with your Terran brother over here, Diego from Root Gaming, and this Chinese food you're talking about, he told me that you had a breakfast that consisted of 20 chicken nuggets. That's I don't know, man, but that's not very Chinese to me. So, do you have any comments on this?
Well. Before you play a tournament, you just need to fuel yourself up, right? You just need a little energy. So I just took like 7 eggs and 20 nuggets.
You actually had 20 nuggets.
I just need a lot of energy to play, you know?
It's funny, yeah, we do have those chicken nuggets for our breakfast back at the hotels. Well, whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you. I don't know if we feel comfortable, like, casting and whatnot with 20 nuggets in our stomach, but if that's what got you the win, that's what got you the win. Congratulations once again, moving on to the quarterfinals. Happy to, see you again tomorrow. We look forward to it. Thank you for joining us here on the desk. And for us, here at the desk, of course, we are done with Group C. If you missed any of it, we had some really good games. I think we have a lot of fun games. If you want to catch up on some of those highlights, go over to plays.tv. They do have some neat highlights all organized for you, not just today, yesterday, and of course going forward. That's the way you're going to catch up on all of our StarCraft games at the Intel Extreme Masters. We'll be back with Group D in the round of 16.